Today on Community Cooking, we have local chef Walter Rowin here whipping up another incredible meal. We're making linguine pasta with chicken served with a garlic tomato sauce, wilted arugula, and goat cheese. We're cooking with some of the best chefs from right here in our own community, so grab a seat and get comfortable. We've got another great show for you. This is your Community Cooking. Welcome to Community Cooking. I'm your host, Maria Prekeges, and I'm super excited to have our guest chef, Walter Rowin, here from the Torrance Marriott. You are the executive chef.
Yes,
Welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
I love it.
Good to be here.
I'm a little intimidated because you're the executive chef just of everything at the Torrance Marriott, from catering to the restaurant to room service, everything.
Right.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
But it's not your first rodeo. Let's just say that.
You're right. I've done it before.
You've done it before and you'll do it again, and we're excited to have you here. So today, little chicken, little linguine.
Yeah, we're
Tell
doing
me about the ingredients.
I'm doing a very simple pasta dish today, but simple doesn't mean boring. This is absolutely delicious. You know what I mean? Just the ingredients are not complicated, but executed properly, this thing comes together, and it's a just stunning dish.
I love it. I love it because I like simple, but I like flavorful, and so many people at home like the same because we lead busy lives these days. So let's go over the ingredients.
Yeah, like I said before, in the past, I should say, cooking isn't complicated. There's nothing wild about it. I mean, there are some things that are a little more complicated than others, but this is not. This is all about just proper execution and using good ingredients. That's all it is, and we're going to end up with a beautiful dish. We're going to start out by searing off some boneless, skinless chicken thighs that have been marinated, and then we're going to finish those off in the oven. They'll stay nice and tender, and from there we're going to build a sauce in the pan. We're going to start out with some garlic and toast the garlic with a little bit of red chili to give it some spice, and then we're going to kind of add everything else from there, from the heirloom cherry tomatoes with a little bit of marinara, fresh basil, saute all those things together, and then we're going to add the pasta to that, and then at the very end we're going to add a lot of wild baby arugula, and we're going to wilt that arugula together, and it becomes almost like a mix between a salad and a pasta because there's so much arugula in it, but the arugula stays a little bit crisp and gives the whole dish a really nice texture, and the bitterness of the arugula really comes out and enhances everything. And then we're going to top the whole thing with some local Drake Family Farms goat cheese.
Oh, I love it. And I love arugula. I could just eat it out of the pan. Well, and I love it because you basically brought the hotel kitchen with you.
Yeah, I made it easy on myself today.
Well, as you should.
Yeah.
All right, what do we need to do first to get started?
So the first thing we'll do is we'll just we'll get some chicken going. Get the chicken cooked off. Obviously, that's going to take longer than anything. So I'll start off with a little bit of olive oil here in the pan. And
you did chicken thighs.
Chicken thighs, yeah. Chicken thighs they're coming around, but for a long time people stayed away from the chicken thighs and they always use chicken breasts. But chicken thighs are awesome. My opinion, they have a lot more flavor than the chicken breast.
It's funny. My boyfriend has converted me to chicken thighs because I was always just white meat, chicken breast. And now there's so many different things out there that say, oh, the thighs are fine for you. It used to be, dark meat was bad. So
who needs them?
But they're flavorful. They are
They're totally
more
flavorful. Yeah, they have a lot more flavor.
Those are a lot of chicken thighs. I love it.
Yeah, we're going to
He
go
likes
crazy.
to cook for me.
Yeah.
A lot of food. So we sear them on both sides.
Yeah, we're going to sear them on both sides. I'm going to have to let these go for a minute because this pan is a little bit small for that amount of chicken.
Okay.
Normally, if you're doing this much chicken, you want a bigger pan so it'll sear nicer. In this case, this is going to produce a little bit too much steam, and we want some caramelization on there. So
okay, so we'll let them sit for a bit.
Yeah, turn it up to high and let them go for a minute so we get that caramelization we're looking for.
And what is the marinade that you have?
The marinade is just some olive oil, white wine, lemon juice, whole grain mustard, salt, pepper, dried oregano, and garlic.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. I love the mustard.
I do too.
Because
It's very
it's
nice.
grainy, and you can really, it brings out the flavor in a lot of food, especially chicken. So, grainy. That's such a nice word.
So if you look at this right now, you'll see how much water there is in the
Yeah.
pan. That's not something I want right now because I'm trying to sear this. I'm trying to get some color on it. If I leave this water in there, it's never going to happen. So I'm going to drain a little bit of this off. So,
Okay.
so we're...
I find that to be troublesome sometimes when I cook, so I do the same. Just drain a little.
Yeah, something you want to keep an eye out for when you're cooking at home. If you want to get a crust on something or caramelization on something and you have a bunch of water in the pan, it's never going to happen. So
I wait for it
an
to
eye out for
happen,
that.
and then I overcook my chicken.
yeah, as so many people do.
Don't wait. So talk a little bit about the Marriott. How do you keep, I mean, you juggle a lot of things. How do you keep it all straight?
There's a lot of moving parts. There's no question about that. But I have a great team. I have great leadership. The management team is fantastic, and everyone really helps everyone there. And we keep an eye out for each other, and that's what makes the whole thing work. If I were just trying to do it all by myself, there's no way it could happen.
No, it does take a village, most definitely. And I mean, you cater for large groups.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that. I stress out, if I have 5, 10 people over.
I didn't say I didn't stress out.
Okay. Okay, good. You're human.
Yeah, I'm the king of stress. So.
But I think every great chef, you have to have a little element of stress, and because you want everything perfect.
Yeah, that's very, very true. I mean, as a chef, you do want to see everything executed perfectly, and the final product that goes out, you want it to look like it's out of a picture from Food and Wine or something like that.
Well, yeah, and when you're cooking for, say, 300 to 500 people, you want all their meals to be hot, all the same. You want consistency as well, which good catering and good executive chefs can do it and pull it off.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
But not without our great crews. That's all credit to them because I'm just a what do they say, a cog in the wheel of the machine? I think
something like
something
that.
along those lines.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing because you do have 21 Square.
Yes.
The restaurant, because Torrance is 21 square miles. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you come up with your menus?
It's the inspiration hits me at different times.
Hopefully not like at 3 a.m.
Sometimes it's 3 a.m.
If you need a little notepad by your bed.
I mean, literally, ideas have come to me from dreams. Sometimes just like writing songs, it's like you wake up and you have an idea and you write it down. Or sometimes I'll go out to eat and I'll have something fantastic and I'll say, I'm ripping this off immediately, or maybe you're not ripping it off directly, but you're doing a version of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, inspiration can come from there. As they say, imitation is the most sincere form of flattery.
Most definitely.
As chefs, we use it all the time. When I go out and I see something I like, I'll use it.
And we've talked before, and you always like to go kind of seasonal. And here in Southern California, I always think, well, there's one season. But there are times for squash, a little more so. But down here, we get such great fruits and vegetables, especially from the Torrance Farmers Market, where we love to go. But, how hard is it to come up with new things? Just when you're dreaming about something, you wake up and write it down.
Sometimes it's extremely difficult, and sometimes it flows like water.
Yeah.
And it just depends. But, as far as the seasons are concerned, here in California, I cook to the spirit of the seasons because we all feel it. We all, once October, late September, October comes around, we all want those hearty fall foods, and wintertime comes around, we all want, venison or, root vegetables and warm foods.
We still kind of have seasons down here.
Yeah. And then when summer comes around, we all just want to stay inside and cry because it's so hot outside. We don't want to eat anything.
That's true. That's true. So how long do we let that sizzle before we turn it?
Well, let's see what we're looking at. Okay, we're starting to get a little color on there. So, most important thing in this step for me right now is getting a little color on this chicken. I don't care if it cooks in the pan or in the oven, as long as we have the caramelization.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. As a matter of fact, I'm maybe going to drain this
one more
time.
You have to pay attention when you cook. That's where I kind of fail sometimes. No. I love cooking. I love cooking at home.
It's the wine, isn't it?
It is. I know. I didn't even drink any. What? But I always say I could cook almost with just 5 ingredients because I'm a very simpleton. But then I come host the show and meet fabulous people like you, and it's like, okay, this is easy. Much easier than you think.
Yeah.
So don't be intimidated is always my
Yeah,
advice to tell
that's
people.
really good advice. I mean, because there's nothing to it. It's just following simple steps. Very, very simple steps. All my cooks out there, these are simple steps.
They are.
Why
If I
can't you
can
follow
do it-
them?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I love, well, and it's, you know, our lives are so busy now that, of course, it'd be great to just go over to the Marriott, sit in your restaurant, have a great meal. But I find it, even after a long day of work, relaxing to just cook.
Yeah, I enjoy it thoroughly.
Okay. So while we're waiting for that, should we put the pasta in the water to
Yeah,
get it going?
let's do it. Let's.
Okay.
I think we're okay.
getting brown.
Yeah, we're getting there.
So, okay, before I give you the linguine, salted, unsalted oil, no
Definitely
oil.
salted water. This
Okay.
is another biggie for me. This is
All right, I'll
one of
give
my
you the
biggest.
pasta then.
The water, the pasta water, should always taste like the ocean. You don't want it too salty because then your pasta is going to be too salty no matter
Yeah.
what you do. But the water should taste like the ocean. That way, when you make your pasta, you should just be able to put olive oil on it and call it a day, and it should still taste good.
Oh, okay.
You know, the sauce is to complement the pasta, not to be the dish.
Okay.
So
And any oil? Some people put oil because they don't like the
yes,
starchy.
yeah, no, I put some olive oil in the
Okay,
water
you
too.
did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
There you go. That's a big old pot.
yeah.
And I like that too because I grew up, we always rinsed our pasta, and I know a lot of people don't. So I think the oil makes it not quite as starchy. And
Yep. This water's not as hot as I want it to be. Anytime
okay.
anytime you're cooking a pasta, it needs to be
needs to be actually
at
boiling.
a rolling boil.
Okay.
But this is
It's getting
kind
there.
of taking its time.
Well, it's a big old pot of water, Chef.
It is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it over to this burner because I think this burner's a little bigger.
Okay.
And I'm going to throw this in the oven.
All right, I can do that for you. So the chicken, you want it seared and then put in like a 350 oven?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So this
Here, we'll
this
see.
handle is hot, so you need to be
Okay.
careful about taking this. I'll put it over there for you.
I'll have you put it right there. Perfect. Oh, it's beautiful.
There you go.
So 350 oven, and about how long?
That'll take about 12 minutes.
Okay. Oh, it smells so good already.
Thank you.
All right, well, while that's
Can I
cooking,
borrow that towel for a second? again?
yes.
And then we're going to slide this over to where it might actually boil for us.
Perfect. Yeah, that is a little bigger burner for the
Yeah.
bigger pot. So I have to ask,
Yeah.
chef knives, how many great chef knives do you have?
I
Do you
have
like
I have
multiple?
many. I have many great knives, but to be honest with you, you only need one.
Yeah.
I've acquired many over the years, and I don't know why I acquired so many, but I did, and I have them, and I use one.
It's not funny. I use one until it gets dull, and then I buy another cheap one. And you actually buy good knives.
No, I don't. To be honest with
Really?
you, in the kitchen, I buy, a $15 chef's knife. I don't, at home, I have nice ones, But in the kitchen, sometimes they get lost. Sometimes they
Yeah,
fall in a
that's true.
trash can and they go out with the garbage, or who knows. They're kind of hard to keep track of, especially when you get busy. Sometimes the kitchen gets a little chaotic and your chef knives end up who knows where.
Yeah.
So if I don't cry about it if I lose a $15 chef's knife.
No, but some can get more pricey, so
Right.
those are at home
Yeah, if
under
you-
lock and key, I'm sure.
If you're missing a $300 sushi knife, it hurts a little bit. So
That does. My word. Well, and it's important to keep them sharpened, which I never do.
Yes.
I buy the sharpeners, and
Yeah.
they sit in my drawer.
Yep. Very, very important. A dull knife is very dangerous. A lot of people don't realize that, especially when you're cutting something like an onion or a bell pepper that kind of has that slippery skin on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that knife can take a turn on you if it's
Well,
not
you want
sharp.
it more sharp, yeah.
Right, because if it's sharp, it'll go right through it like a laser. But if the knife is dull,
I know people don't
Very
think
dangerous.
that way. All right, well, we're going to wait for the water to boil. We're going to take a quick break.
Yep.
When we come back, we'll get the linguine in, and we'll check on the chicken and then make our fabulous sauce. So don't go anywhere. You're watching Community Cooking, and we'll be right back.
Whether you need a hand shopping for groceries, using up scraps, or finishing every bite, Meal Prep Mate can help you plan better and save more. Whether you're a newbie getting your first taste, a meal prepper honing your chops, or a meal prep pro hungry for a challenge, you can learn how to eat smarter, plan better, and save more at every step of meal prep. When you finish every bite, you save. Start prepping with Meal Prep Mate at SaveTheFood.com.
Welcome back to Community Cooking. If you're just joining us, I'm with the executive chef of the Torrance Marriott, because he knows his stuff, Walter Rowin, and chicken is out of the oven.
It is. We're ready to go.
Pasta is pretty much done.
Yep.
What do we do next?
So at this point, I'm going to cut the chicken. We're going to cut that into cubes. That's where it's going to be served in the pasta. And then I'm going to make a sauce in the pan. It's an a la minute sauce, so it goes very quickly.
Excuse me, what? Bless you, what?
A la minute, meaning made to order. Okay. So,
okay.
Right. Instead of being made in advance and used to order. And that way, the entire sauce is being made
to order.
So this is.
I was like, do-si-do what?
So that's how we do this one.
I love it. All the fun words you learn.
Yes. Culinary words.
I like it. And then for the sauce, like you said, a lot of arugula, some marinara.
Yeah, I'll walk you through it right now.
Okay.
We're gonna. Matter of fact, we can start it right now. So first thing I'm gonna do is the pan is already just about hot enough.
Okay. And you always want a hot pan and then put the oil in. I make the mistake of putting the oil in and then.
It is, as long as your oil is hot. That's really what you're looking for. You want to. So the process moves. Otherwise, you don't. In this, the important thing about this dish is we want to toast the garlic, and I'll show you that right now. The first thing I'm going to do is just put a little bit of red pepper flakes in there for a little spice, not too much.
We love spice.
Then I'll put a little more.
Just saying.
Okay. We're going to put some garlic in here.
Okay.
A good amount of garlic goes into this dish. This is why the room's going to smell like garlic, okay?
That is A-okay with me.
Yep. And the most important part of this dish is you have to toast the garlic. You have to get it a nice golden brown color. You can't burn it, but it's got to be a golden brown color. Otherwise, it doesn't develop that deep, rich garlic flavor, and the dish is kind of flat.
Okay. And garlic can be a little tricky if you have too much of it or if it's not toasted properly.
It will burn quickly. Now, this is where I want it, so I'm going to add my tomatoes.
Oh, you love.
Now, here's something. I'm going to take this off the heat and shake it up a little bit, okay?
Okay.
If you leave it on the heat, especially, I don't know if it's as true with this type of stove, but whenever you're cooking with gas and you put the tomatoes into the hot pan, they flare up. You get flames. You don't want that flame because it makes the dish taste kind of like fuel.
Okay.
Okay, so we're trying to avoid that.
Oh, that smells so good.
And then we're going to give those a decent amount of salt and pepper.
Okay.
Okay.
And you like to combine yours for ease. I love combining the salt and pepper.
Yep. Okay. And I'm making 2 dishes here. This is two orders, so it's a pretty good amount of tomatoes.
I thought you were just making me one really big one.
I will if you like.
I'll share with you.
All right.
So interesting. So take it off the heat just for a couple seconds when you first put it in.
If you're cooking with a gas stove, you want to avoid that thing flaring up, and it's also a safety issue because when you put those tomatoes with all that water in a hot pan like that, I mean the flames can jump at you a little bit. So if you're doing that at home, just be careful. Okay. And take it off the heat when you put the tomatoes in. I'm going to add just a little bit of marinara to this to help coat the pasta. Okay. And a nice amount of basil. Looks like a lot, but that wilts down. Like I said, this is 2 orders.
Basil. I love basil in almost everything.
So we're going to let that go for a little bit. And all those beautiful heirloom tomatoes are going to release their water. It'll evaporate. It'll concentrate the flavor. And we'll have a very nice garlicky, tomatoey
Oh, well, it tastes anything like it smells right now, it's going to be fabulous.
It'll be good.
And then the spaghetti, a lot of people like it, you don't want it mushy. Have you ever?
You definitely want it al dente.
Yeah.
And, some people say, like, throw it against a wall.
I thought that was going straight for me.
I almost threw it against you.
If it sticks to my face, there you go. We're getting pasta everywhere.
I know, I'm just throwing food for fun.
Oh, yeah, heck yeah.
But, okay, that's a little hot now. We're going to turn that down. I think this pasta is just about ready. Sometimes if you have a stainless steel wall, it will stick to it.
It will. It sticks.
It's kind of a wives' tale, I think. But
is it?
I mean,
I'm like covering up.
Yeah.
Or you just taste it.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
That's what I do.
I like it a little al dente.
I'll give it a little taste. That's perfect right there. That's exactly where we want it. Sometimes that's the best way you find out. try it.
I used to always, especially when I was little, Mom, is it ready? And drive her crazy.
Okay, here I need.
Here you
Oh
go.
yeah, perfect.
I'm
That's
giving
what
you
I
a
need.
pot holder.
That's what I need.
How about 2?
No, just 1.
Okay.
Thanks. But you know what you can do for me? Can you hold this strainer for a second?
I will.
I'm sorry, I've just made you come over to
That's okay.
to my side.
So you definitely want to drain your pasta. Oh.
Drain that pasta and just dump it right back in there.
Oh, that's the easy part.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Okay. Drain and dump. There you go.
So there we are. There's our pasta. That's made. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in here to keep it from sticking.
Okay. Because you didn't rinse it. Rinsing it cools it down too. So.
Yeah, we don't. Since we're going right into it, I'm
Okay.
not going to cool that down. I don't want to stop the cooking process. And so all that's ready right there.
And then we got the lovely chicken.
And then I'm just going to dice this chicken up real quick.
Slice and dice, chef. Let's
Yeah,
go.
let's do it.
Woo-hoo, it smells so good. Oh, that one's still on.
That's all right.
Oh my word. I always say I wish there was smell-o-vision because it all smells so good.
So we'll just give this a quick dice.
Do you have feeling left in your hand after years of being a chef? I'm just curious. Do you have any feeling in your hands? Because that would burn me.
My hands are fine. It's my soul that has no feeling.
He's a chef with some humor, people. I love it. I love it. I'd taste it, but that's a very sharp knife, and my fingers are going nowhere near it. I will wait till the very end till it's all put together.
Okay.
Look at that.
So there's our chicken thigh. You'll see this meat is darker than the chicken breast. You know, this is not what you think
Could you
of.
make it with chicken breast? I know you like the
Yeah,
thighs
you
for
can make it
this,
with
and
chicken
it's
breast, sure. I mean,
Yeah.
no reason why you can't, but I like the chicken thighs.
good. Well, they are. I told you, I've gone to the other side.
And then here it is.
So we're adding the chicken to the tomatoes.
Yep, we'll add the chicken
Okay.
to the tomato dish. Thank you very much.
Anytime. Look, I'm helping. I'm going to push the chicken on the spoon. Woohoo! Well, and a lot of that is about cooking the chicken like you do because it's so yummy.
Yep. That's enough. That will do.
Put that back on the
So-
heat. Yeah, I would use a spatula or a spoon to mix it.
So I'm going to add a little more of this marinara,
Okay.
and then
I stand back like he hasn't flipped a
now,
pan
normally
before.
when I do this, like in the restaurant,
Yeah.
this can all be done in one pan because it's a smaller amount of
Yeah.
everything. So I'll take a big handful of arugula, pile it in there, and just use tongs to kind of toss it together,
Okay.
and it works perfectly. This amount is too much to do that with, so I'm going to put it back in this pan, and
Because
that's
it's a big old one.
a big
We
pan.
call that a cazzarola in Greek.
What do you call it?
A cazzarola. It's a
Cazzarola. it
big
is.
old pot.
It sounds Italiano.
It does. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Get her a glass of wine, a big
A
glass,
nice Chianti.
not the small, a big.
A big. I love it. Oh, yeah.
So you see, I put a lot of arugula in there.
Which is fine
And,
with me.
yeah, and then we're just going to toss this around a little bit, and this becomes
Becomes
just
yummy.
big pot of deliciousness.
And then the goat cheese comes at the end,
Goat
right?
cheese comes at the very end,
We'll
right?
plate it up.
This will have a little bit of spice to it.
Oh,
You know what else I'm going to do?
I was wondering when you were going to use some more
don't
butter.
don't tell anyone this part.
Shh, I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
I just put a little butter in there.
Everything's better with a little butter.
The butter just adds a little bit of fat to it, and it helps coat the pasta. And fat carries flavor. Okay, so that's why in a lot,
Now we're talking.
yeah, it just makes everything taste better because it carries all the flavor molecules.
I saw a card once. It said, you know why health food people are so skinny? Because health food doesn't taste so good. Well,
That's right.
it actually was a different tagline, but a lot of health food does. But a little butter goes a long way.
It truly
and you
does.
do that, the stove's off, but there's still a little heat in that
Yeah,
pan.
and this is what I want right now. All we're doing is wilting this arugula. There's no more. All the heat is coming from the pasta.
Yeah. Oh, it smells so good. I can't wait. All right, well, He's
So-
going to add a little more arugula, let that wilt down. We'll take a quick break and we come back.
Yep.
My favorite part, the
And
tasty. Don't
that's-
go anywhere. You're watching Community Cooking.
That's a wrap.
Welcome back to Community Cooking. All right, you have made us a very small portion
Yeah,
of
it's
this
a
fabulous dish.
It's a small. We like a small.
So we mixed everything together. All that arugula you put in,
Yeah.
you can barely see it.
Yeah, it wilts down to almost nothing. It doesn't even look like arugula. It looks like basil chiffonade or basil in there.
I love it. And then we added a little goat cheese.
The Drake Family Farms, local.
You love using local.
I totally do. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not a good spinner, but I just want a bite of everything, so I'm just going to mush it all together. Oh my word. I would eat this whole king-size plate. So the tomatoes, it's not too saucy, which I like.
Yeah.
And the little bit of arugula with the goat cheese, and then of course cooking the chicken before, how you did it seared.
Right.
Oh my gosh, the flavors are spectacular.
Thank you very much.
I'll come into the restaurant and get it. Can
Yeah,
I get
please do.
this at the restaurant, I'm assuming?
You certainly can.
Look at how I roll my pasta. I'm Greek, not Italian, people.
I made nice big king size portions so that the family that's here, the film crew and everyone can also get to enjoy some. So,
Okay, that is so yummy.
thank you very
There's
much.
a reason you're an executive chef. I get it. I get it. On behalf of Walter and myself and the entire crew, thanks for watching. Just goes to show you that we really do have some of the best chefs right here in our own community. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Community Cooking.
If you'd like a copy of the recipes seen on this show, send us a self-addressed stamped envelope to the Office of Cable and Community Relations. That's 3350 Civic Center Drive, Suite 200, in Torrance, California, 90503. Be sure to note the show number displayed on the screen. And don't forget you can find all the fresh ingredients used on today's show at the Farmers Market. Visit the one here in Torrance at Wilson Park. That's located at 2200 Crenshaw Boulevard. They're open every Tuesday and Saturday from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., rain or shine. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show, email us at communitycooking@torranceca.gov and check us out online at youtube.com/TorranceCityCable and like us on Facebook at Community Cooking TV.